What if the Earth was cube-shaped instead of round? This question comes from planetary geologist Dr. Robert Chen, who asks, if Earth had formed as a perfect cube with 6 flat faces instead of a sphere, how would gravity, weather patterns, ocean distribution, and human civilization develop differently on a world with corners, edges, and geometric faces? Let's imagine that 5 billion years ago, Earth somehow coalesced into a perfect cube measuring roughly 12,742 kilometers on each side, maintaining the same mass and composition as our spherical planet but distributed in a radically different geometric shape. From space, Earth would appear as a massive dice floating in the cosmos, with 6 distinct square faces each representing a unique continental surface. The most immediate and profound difference would be gravity. On a spherical Earth, gravity pulls uniformly toward the center, creating consistent downward force everywhere on the surface. But on cube Earth, gravity would still pull toward the geometric center, meaning that people standing at the center of each face would experience normal downward gravity, while those approaching the edges and corners would feel gravity pulling at increasingly steep angles toward the planet's interior. At the edges where 2 faces meet, gravity would pull at a 45-degree angle, making it impossible to walk normally. People would need to lean dramatically to maintain balance, and water would flow in strange diagonal patterns. At the 8 corners where 3 faces intersect, gravity would pull at such extreme angles that the corners would be completely uninhabitable, with everything sliding down the steep gravitational slopes toward the face centers. This gravitational geometry would create 6 distinct gravity wells at the center of each face, where all matter naturally accumulates. These areas would become the only locations suitable for oceans, cities, and complex life. Each face would develop as an isolated world with a central sea surrounded by increasingly steep terrain as you approach the edges, creating natural barriers between the 6 face civilizations. Weather patterns would be unlike anything on spherical Earth. Atmospheric circulation would be dominated by the cube's geometry, with air currents flowing from the high-pressure edges toward the low-pressure face centers. Each face would develop its own isolated weather system, with storms spiraling inward toward the central oceans rather than circling the globe. The edges would be perpetually windy as air rushes down the gravitational slopes. But after millions of years of evolution, life on cube Earth would adapt in remarkable ways. The 6 face civilizations would develop independently, each believing they lived on a flat world surrounded by impassable mountainous regions. They would have no concept of other faces existing beyond their gravitational boundaries, making cube Earth essentially 6 separate flat worlds sharing the same planetary core. Each face would develop unique ecosystems adapted to their isolated environments. The face pointing toward the sun during Earth's orbit would become a desert world, while the opposite face would freeze in permanent winter. The 4 side faces would experience more moderate climates but with weather patterns that change dramatically as the cube rotates through its yearly orbit around the sun. Human civilization would develop 6 times independently, with each face culture evolving completely different technologies, languages, and worldviews. Some faces might develop advanced astronomy by studying the stars from their flat perspective, while others might focus on deep mining as they dig toward the planet's core. The concept of a round Earth would be impossible to conceive from any single face perspective. Here's where the story takes an unexpected turn. After thousands of years of isolated development, one advanced face civilization would finally develop technology powerful enough to overcome the extreme gravitational barriers at their world's edges. When their explorers finally reach the edge and discover another face with another complete civilization, it would shatter their understanding of reality. The shocking discovery would be that all 6 faces contain not just life, but intelligent civilizations that had developed simultaneously but in complete isolation. Each face culture would have created entirely different solutions to similar problems, resulting in 6 distinct branches of human technological and social evolution on the same planet. But the most profound revelation would come when the 6 civilizations finally establish communication. They would discover that their cube world isn't natural at all. Analysis of the planet's geometric perfection would reveal that Earth was artificially shaped by an ancient, advanced civilization that understood that cube-shaped worlds would force intelligent life to develop in isolated populations, creating multiple backup civilizations on a single planet. The cube shape was designed as the ultimate survival strategy. If one face civilization destroyed itself through war, environmental collapse, or cosmic catastrophe, the other 5 faces would remain intact to continue the species. The geometric isolation ensured that no single catastrophe could eliminate all human civilization simultaneously. The final twist would be that this ancient civilization was humanity's own far future descendants who had mastered time travel and planetary engineering. They had traveled back to reshape primordial Earth into a cube specifically to create multiple parallel human civilizations as insurance against extinction, ensuring that no matter what disasters befell humanity, at least one face civilization would survive to carry on the species. The day the six face civilizations discovered each other would mark humanity's most successful insurance policy finally paying off, as six different versions of human civilization combined their unique knowledge and perspectives to create a resilience that no single spherical world could ever achieve.